This podcast is brought to you by DIRECTV Stream. Does this sound familiar? You got one device that lets you catch the game live, another lets you stream your favorite shows. You're watching your sports highlights on your phone. You've got your neighbor's best friend's login for the good stuff. Well, I want to tell you about a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without the hassle. It's called DIRECTV Stream, and it brings you your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, so you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. That means no more juggling remotes and no need to buy another device ever again. And the best part? There's no annual contract. So get rid of the clutter and the confusion and get your TV together with DIRECTV Stream. You can learn more at DIRECTV.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package.
Hoge Jahns.
It's Packer Week. What's up? Welcome in. Hoge Jahns with you, breaking down what I believe is a very significant game against Green Bay, both small picture and this season and big picture beyond. It's time for the Bears to make some movement in this series. Welcome in. This podcast is brought to you by DIRECTV Stream. Get your TV together with the best of live and on demand. Learn more at DIRECTV.com. What's up, Johns?
What's going on? Week 6, Packers, Bears. It does make a Week 6 matchup feel a little bit more important, does it not?
It does, and I appreciate the early season matchup. It's still early season. But like last year, both games were played in December last year.
Yeah, kind of odd, right?
Or the second one was in January, technically. But like they didn't
Even
see
worse.
the Packers until December. It was I don't mind the end of season matchup against Green Bay. It's just let's spread them out a little bit more. They played too close together.
Yeah. Well, you always got to have our trip to Minneapolis at the end of the season, so you got to make sure that's on there.
Again, this year I think that game occurs in March. With the way the season keeps getting pushed back, I think. So eventually they keep adding games. That game against Minneapolis will get played in the summer, and we will finally get to enjoy the nice summer weather of Minnesota. But for now, it's
year 2033.
Literally every year you and I have covered the team. It's never been nice weather in Minnesota when that game gets played.
It's a great town.
I love it. I'm going there on the bye week. Like I love Minnesota, but it's like it's better in the summer, just like Chicago. People don't want to come to Chicago in December, although you could still get like the Christmas.
I don't want to drive to Green Bay in the winter either, but here we go again.
I mean, Green Bay's kind of the same year round, if we're being honest. Welcome in. It is.
Let the trash talk begin.
I got all kinds of shots this week. We're about to play one of them, apparently. I didn't actually mean it as a shot. It's just sort of a fact, but I guess it came off that way. So, lots to talk about. Our buddy Mike Heller, you've heard him on the podcast before. We love talking to him about the Packers. He'll be on to preview this game, and we'll jump into the matchups, make our picks. Some good games around the NFL this week too. Decent one even tonight. Decent one, I guess. Bucks and Eagles. I like the Eagles. Jalen Hurts is fun to watch. So plenty to get to here on the podcast. Welcome in. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Adam Hoge, Hoge. He's at Adam Jahns, Jahns. Let's see. I got a film review up this morning on the physical nature of some of the blocks that were made. It's like a different team.
It's about time, right? It's about time.
I mean, some of these highlights were just
some pancakes. Awesome. I know like the James Daniels one is the viral clip, but I feel like Jason Peters delivers at least one per game where he's putting some defender on his back.
Yeah, it was like a freight train coming through. Jimmy Graham's getting involved, running over multiple guys. It's like, okay, that's a pretty good sign that this thing is kind of contagious, and at least in that game it was, and now you got to keep that going this week against the Packers. So you can find that at NBCSportsChicago.com. Johnsy's coverage, the Fishman's coverage, all up on theathletic.com/Hoge Jahns, and you can watch us on YouTube. Check out our shirts, obviousshirts.com. Plenty to get to there. All right, so kind of an interesting angle that was brought up immediately in Justin Fields' press conference. I'll admit I didn't really think about it this way, but the guy did play in the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry, which is a good one. Now he's here.
One game, but yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It was only one game because they didn't play last year. He did demolish Michigan, though. And so anyway, this was going around Twitter yesterday, and I think Dan Wiederer asked the original question, just like kind of playing in the rivalry, and then this is got the audio for you. This was my follow-up.
Justin, you said the Bears are kind of the Michigan in this rivalry against the Packers. What's happening? I guess what do you feel like is the key to be a part of this, turning that around?
Executing and making plays. Of course, we know they're talented on offense and defense, so it's just going to come down to executing and making plays.
The best part of that is not what was said, but what you could actually see from Justin Fields. He did not move.
No.
He did not move. I don't think he appreciated your comparison. And neither did Hubarkish.
Well, so I'll play the beginning of it again. Might have to turn it up a little bit here. So see if you can hear it.
Justin, you said
the Bears are kind of the Michigan in this rivalry against the Packers. What's happening? I guess what's your...
So I'll be honest, like I didn't mean that as a shot. It's just a fact. It was just like me following up from one question to the other. Like, dude, the Bears are Michigan in this rivalry. If not worse, over a 3-decade span, it's probably even worse. And you played at Ohio State. You know about being the Aaron Rodgers of this rivalry, right? So how are you going to flip it? Like, I think it's a fair question. And so I don't know. But, if it pissed off Justin Fields, you're welcome, Bears fans.
There you go. Also pissed off Hubarkish.
Well, Hub's a Michigan guy, so
Noted
he took exception.
Michigan fan. Yes, yeah.
And
we'll occasionally wear big shirts with big M's on them to Alice Hall, but
it's probably good he interjected, because otherwise it might have been a little awkward, because Justin was just staring like straight into my soul.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Be sure to watch the video because it's on Twitter everywhere. As he doesn't move. Literally doesn't move. And
I saw some of those tweets like, oh, Bears reporter trying to joke about. I'm telling you, that wasn't a joke. It was like just a true fact. You got to embrace it. Now, what I will say is I would be very encouraged by Justin Fields' reaction to that. Like, I think it was telling. I think it was...
he didn't like it. Didn't seem to like it.
Yeah. Is it getting darker where you are? Like, is there a solar eclipse going on?
Yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube right now, John's, I think he has the lights off. What is going on with you?
Passing storm clouds. I'm using natural light.
Well,
so I do these in my dining room. So am I. Yeah.
I don't have a
few miles apart here in the northeast part of Illinois.
It looks like I'm in Florida, though, and you're in Alaska in January.
There are a lot of clouds outside. Rainy day. I could turn on the light for you.
No, it's fine. It's got to entertain our YouTube crowd. There we go.
There we
Look
go.
At this, the brightness. You've seen the light. I don't know. Big picture-wise, though, Justin Fields, entering this rivalry seems like a significant deal. And I think even more like smaller picture to this season, regardless of who's playing quarterback, the big question is, maybe we should be doing this in big questions, but just like, can the Bears keep this momentum going? I think the timing of this game is very interesting. You're one game back in the North. You lose, you fall 2 games back. You win, you're right there back up there with the Packers. And I think you're kind of announcing yourself as a legitimate contender in this division. It seems like an important game. Like, I know it's mid-October, but it's a pretty important game.
Matt Nagy is selling it as what? A great opportunity? He tried to couch a little bit because it is early in the season. Mid-October, week 6. Yeah, it's a big one for him. He's only beaten the Packers once.
So take that and think about that for a little bit.
1-5.
Very good against the rest of the division.
I saw Matt LaFleur's record though against the North is 12-1.
Well, it helps to have 12-1.
We're going to hear from Mike Heller here in a little bit. I was on his show yesterday, and he asked me like an interesting question I hadn't really thought about, but he asked me like what the outside view of Matt LaFleur is, and I'm kind of like, well, it's like hard to give Matt LaFleur too much credit because it's just like everything goes back to Aaron Rodgers. I feel
correct,
but I don't know. There's nothing wrong with Matt LaFleur. I don't think anyone has a strong opinion about him at this point. It's just it's Aaron Rodgers.
It's already a great player. Is he making him greater? I don't know. I think he needs a Super Bowl for that to come to fruition.
Go Bears.
Isn't that the expectation?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it, right? If you
and
wanna...
Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, and most people don't consider him to be that great of a coach.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Let's do this. Let's get a little bit more insight on the Green Bay Packers, shall we? And Mike Heller, bring him in. Find out what's going on with this team that started off horrendously against the New Orleans Saints in week 1, but is now 4-1, have turned things around. But quite frankly, very lucky to be 4-1 after Mason Crosby missed all those kicks last week before finally making the game winner. So we bring him in, Mike Heller. Follow him on Twitter at Heller Sports, and you can hear him on your radio dial if you're up in Wisconsin, or as I like to do during Packer Week, stream you guys online. Yeah. Mike, here we go again. Another Bears-Packers game. A little bit different this time because Justin Fields is involved. I think that should add something to this rivalry going forward. But I think the big question is, how long is Aaron Rodgers going to be a part of this thing? So where are the Packers right now after that crazy offseason? They're sitting 4-1. Things seem pretty good right now, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. You know, they got off to a lousy start against New Orleans in week 1, but since then they have been really good. You know, not just good, but really good. There's a red zone issue on both sides, offensively and defensively. We'll get to in a couple of minutes, but they have been the Rodgers Devontae Adams connection has been ridiculous. I think they account for 73% of their offense right now, that's a little dangerous, but until somebody stops that. The Rodgers thing is really interesting, Adam, because I don't think he's going to be here next year, but some of that is results driven. It's going to be a really interesting season into another off season, but my expectation is when they lopped the final year off the contract, that it was the out clause, and I think that there's going to be an out.
What did the Saints do in week 1? Would you just consider that week 1 wackiness? Because I don't know if the Saints are really that good. Maybe their defense is okay, but if you look back at that game, what can the Bears draw from it, especially when it comes to running the football?
I think that was the casualty, John, of the offseason. I thought it was a poorly prepared game plan on Green Bay's part. I thought that the scheme that New Orleans brought, Aaron and Matt LaFleur talked about it after week 1, that it's not what New Orleans has done to them defensively in the past. They went too high, safeties, and dared the Packers to get the ball out quickly and for Aaron to take the first easy, correct read. He didn't do it. They didn't do it. So all day long, it was an odd game. I think the Packers had 2 possessions in the first half, and they were nothings. And then they got out of their game plan because the defense wasn't good enough against New Orleans. I think that's what we've seen since then is that Green Bay has, especially with offensive line injuries, they went to quick rhythm throws. I believe in the game against San Francisco, Aaron's average throw time was less than 2.5 seconds, and his numbers were amazing. And it's what a lot of us who are sometimes critical of this future first ballot Hall of Famer, when we've been critical, it's that Aaron bypasses the good waiting for the great. And that's caused him problems in the past. It either forces throwaways or there's a sack. He doesn't throw interceptions. But in week 1, they waited too long. And since then, they've gone quick rhythm and they've mixed it up really well against good defenses. So, and I think Matt LaFleur said earlier this week that the Bears defense will be the best defense they've faced so far. Some of that might be game week because San Francisco's got pretty good defense, but I also think they believe it.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case. I mean, the Bears defense has been pretty impressive the last few weeks, and they lead the league in sacks right now. So that's interesting to hear you say that little nugget about getting the ball out quickly and how much that actually was a good thing, because I think that's what they're going to have to do in this matchup against the Bears, because one of the things you'll see, Mike, is like Robert Quinn's just a completely different player than he was last year. And that's making Khalil Mack a lot better. So the pass rush is there. And I guess then what's your expectation for how much success that they can have? Because the Bears secondary is still young, and as we've seen so many times in these matchups, it doesn't necessarily matter how good the Bears defense is. Rodgers seems to find his shots downfield and make the big plays anyway.
Yeah, I think when Green Bay's on offense, here's the overall challenge, I think, of the game is that the Bears are going to have to score, because I think even as good as the Bears defense is, unless there are anomalies in this, the Packers and Aaron Jones and Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams are going to get their points. So, and to that point, we talk about Aaron through the air. Their offense is so often predicated on the commitment to Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon on the ground. And when they commit to it, the Packers are really tough to stop. Jones, I still think, is one of the top 3 running backs in the league. A.J. Dillon is emerging, and the way he runs people over, he's a big fella, and he doesn't go down easily. It's a really good thunder and lightning kind of combination in the running game. And I just think that I was talking about red zone. So the Packers a year ago offensively scored touchdowns on 75%, between 75 and 77% of their red zone opportunities on offense. That's down to 55 right now. I think it was 77 a year ago. It's 55 now. That's a precipitous drop. And conversely, the Packers defense has not gotten a stop in the red zone. Every red zone entrance of the opponent has been a touchdown this year. So something's going to have to change there too. Green Bay's banged up, certainly on defense with Jair Alexander out again. And no Zadarius Smith all season yet. So probably the 2 best defenders that Green Bay can put on the field. One has not played this year, and one's not going to play for a few weeks in Jair Alexander.
Mike, kind of going off that, are the Packers good at stopping the run? If you look at the regular stats, I think they rank 11th. If you get into the advanced stuff from like Football Outsiders, I think they drop all the way down to the late 20s. I'm just curious, considering the injuries and whatnot, how would you gauge their ability to stop the run? Because we know the Bears are going to go into this game trying to establish the running backs.
Yeah, I think they've been pretty good, John. I think that they've been pretty good against the run. And I think the Packers defense has been pretty good in its totality other than the red zone, which is really hard to figure. But between the 20s, Green Bay's defense has been really pretty good. The problem is, honestly, is that Jair Alexander a lot of times takes away a third of the field, and he's not playing. Eric Stokes is a really good rookie defensive back. I think they have learned to love him. He's their top choice, but he's a rookie, so he's going to make mistakes. I think Adrian Amos, you guys are familiar, he kind of captains this defense, and they're getting some linebacker help. I don't know if Jalen Smith is going to play. If he does, I don't know how much he'll play. The new acquisition from Dallas a week ago, getting acclimated to the system. But I do, to answer your original question, I don't think other teams have been fully committed to the ground against Green Bay, so it's hard to measure. And maybe we'll get a better measure on Sunday.
One thing I'm hearing in this conversation is the over sounds pretty good on Sunday.
Right?
Johns, I know you had a fun question that you wanted to ask, so why don't you go ahead and do that now?
Yeah. Mike, Aaron Rodgers couldn't do it, and I think this is a fun part of the conversation this week with Justin Fields coming up next in line for the Bears quarterbacks. Can you name all 16 quarterbacks that have started for the Bears since Aaron Rodgers took over in 2008?
No, I can't. And I used this stat yesterday on my show after we talked to Adam, that since 92, the Bears have started 20 quarterbacks in this rivalry, and the Packers have started 3. I was trying to figure out who the third was for Green Bay, because it was Favre, Rodgers, and then I don't know in the 2 Rodgers injury years if that was the third starter.
It's Brett Hundley.
It's Brett Hundley. I remember that
Brett
game.
Hundley?
Yeah.
Hundley versus Trubisky, was it not?
And Johns, wait a minute. We gotta figure out what the number, because I looked this up yesterday. I got 11. Are you sure it's 16? I think it's 11.
Well, it depends if you're going against the Packers, who have just started in general for the Bears. That's the difference. That's the semantic difference.
Oh, I don't know. Well, anyway, I looked up the 11 quarterbacks, and literally looked them up yesterday for a story I was writing, and I still can't remember them all, even though I looked it up yesterday. But I do know that there's some fun names on there, like Todd Collins and Brian Hoyer and guys like that. It's just it's a never ending list, and for the Packers, it's on one end it's insane how many of the Bears quarterbacks, but part of what makes this amazing is I think it's actually more insane that for the Packers it's basically been 2.
Yeah, that's the part that is stunning to me, is that Green Bay has gone really since 1992 with 2 starting quarterbacks. And on the Rodgers, a couple of collarbone injury seasons, they've had to go to others. But, and Scott Tolzien is in there, and Hundley is in there. And, they didn't find any success when they had to go away. But I do think it's more extraordinary that Green Bay has gone with 2 starting quarterbacks over the last 29 years. Wow. That's extraordinary. And a lot of fans didn't like the rhetoric, and I'm not talking about a handful, a vocal minority. I would say that the crowd split on Packers fan base on anti-Rodgers in the offseason was 50-50. Like, there was about 50% of Packers fans that said, get him out of here. He doesn't want to be here. Go ahead. Let's bring on next. And like I said, it wasn't a small vocal minority. I thought it was a 50-50 split. Now, when the season goes on and you see how amazingly 12 plays the position, I think some of that split probably goes away. But we've had this conversation before. Aaron has never been beloved by the fan base. His performance is, but the guy has never resonated with Packers fans away from the 60 minutes of football every week. And even then, he's had some detractors just from a body language or facial expression, things of that nature. So isn't that extraordinary?
Man, yeah.
But that's because he's good Jay Cutler. I've always said that. He's a good version of Jay Cutler.
Yep. Yeah,
Be
there's a lot
what
to
you
that.
wish for. That whole quarterback.
I know.
The continuity, consistency, whatever you want to call it, at quarterback, it's changed the rivalry. Because before Favre, that was the 80 Bears that kind of separated themselves for a bit, and then what was it? A few years ago, the Packers finally took over the win-loss record in this rivalry.
Now they're up by 6, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, and I do think that the singular difference has been quarterback. Now you can go much deeper. The Packers have had great coaching and leadership. The run of general managers from Ron Wolf to Ted Thompson, and I know that now the jury is out for some on Gutekunst, but the leadership standpoint has been pretty good and consistent too, but you don't need to get too deep into that. This has been about quarterback play.
All right, Mike, what's your thought on a prediction for this week?
Yeah, I still think Green Bay is the better team. Here's the issue, is that their injuries defensively have really added up, and that makes it nervy. But Green Bay is going to score 30 points. Can the Bears score 30 points? So to me, I've got Green Bay winning 34-21, 34-24, maybe a 10-point, 13-point game. I still think the Green Bay is going to score. They've got most of their elements working offensively. Still miss Dave Bakhtiari. Elton Jenkins, I'm not sure, he's iffy, but getting better. But the way they run the ball with Aaron Jones, the way they run it with Dillon, the way they throw it with Favre, the way Adams can just change what a defense has to do, and Bobby Tunyon can do some things too. I just like Green Bay to score more than 30, and I don't think the Bears can.
I agree. If they score 30 points, the Packers are winning for sure. All right. We appreciate it, Mike. Always appreciate the time. Follow him on Twitter at Heller Sports. You can hear him on Heller and Davis, 97.3 The Game in Milwaukee, Fox Sports 1070 The Game in Madison, and all over the state of Wisconsin. Appreciate it, Mike.
All right, boys. Glad to do it.
Thanks, Mike.
When your online checking account balance is running low, the last thing you need is a $33 overdraft fee. Overdraft fees have gotten way out of hand. In 2019, traditional banks took $11 billion in overdraft fees. Chime does things differently. Chime is an award-winning app and debit card that has saved its members more than $10 billion in overdraft fees with Spot Me fee-free overdraft. Eligible members can overdraft up to $200 on debit card purchases and cash withdrawals with absolutely no fees. Now, you deserve to have financial peace of mind. Join the millions of Americans already loving Chime. Sign up takes only 2 minutes and does not affect your credit score. Get started today at chime.com/Adams. That's plural, Adams. Chime.com/Adams. Banking services provided by and debit card issued by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank, N.A., members FDIC. Spot Me eligibility requirements apply. Overdraft only applies to debit card purchases and cash withdrawals. Limits start at $20 and may be increased up to $200 by Chime. Chime member overdraft fee savings based on eligible members' use of Spot Me versus $33 average overdraft fee. Overdraft fee data based on Bankrate checking account survey and CRL June 2020 overdraft fees report.
There's big news from my favorite home security company. SimpliSafe just launched their new wireless outdoor security camera. That's right, SimpliSafe, the system that U.S. News and World Reports names the best home security system of 2021, just got even better. This brand new outdoor security camera is engineered with all the advanced tech and security features you want and need to help keep you and your family safe. It's an ultra-wide 140-degree field of view so you can keep watch over your entire yard. It has a built-in spotlight with color night vision. It's super simple to set up and usually takes just minutes. And it has an easy-to-remove rechargeable battery so it can go anywhere and it doesn't need an outlet. This camera has it all and it works with your SimpliSafe home security system, extending its protection to the outside. Together it means every door, window, and room are protected and now your property will be too. To learn more about the exciting new SimpliSafe wireless outdoor security camera, visit simplisafe.com/athletic. What's more, SimpliSafe is celebrating this new camera by offering 20% off your entire new system and your first month of monitoring service free when you enroll in interactive monitoring. Again, that's simplisafe.com/athletic.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if you've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month, I thought, all right, what is the catch? But after speaking with them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. So by cutting out retail stores, there's no crazy overhead costs that get passed down to you in the form of mystery fees. Instead, Mint just passes on sweet savings direct to you. Came in a little envelope, little SIM card. You can pop it in your phone. Easy. You keep your same number, same phone. Perfect. For people looking for extra savings, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. All plans come with unlimited talk and text and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan. Keep your same phone number. Keep all of your contacts. It's perfectly easy. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. So to get your new wireless plan, and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Hoge. That's mintmobile.com/Hoge. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Hoge.
Look, no one's perfect. Even the best baseball players, they strike out with the bases loaded. The best golfers, sometimes they three-putt with the tournament on the line. So if you feel like you're coming up short in the bedroom, it's perfectly okay. But if it's bothering you, there are options. So go to GetRoman.com/Adam now. With Roman, you get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for ED, all from the comfort and privacy from your home. A U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, it ships to you free with 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward and discreet. Getting started is simple. Just go to GetRoman.com/Adam and complete an online visit. So go to GetRoman.com/Adam now to get $15 off your first month. Look, there's a straightforward way to take care of your ED. GetRoman.com/Adam. Get started now to save $15 in your first month of treatment.
All right, well, that was interesting that Mike expects the Packers to score a lot of points in this game. I have to say, I think he's underrating the Bears defense a little bit. And it's not even just about this year.
Oh, he's putting the glasses on.
Yeah, because I'm starting to be blind again. Thank you, LASIK surgery. It's mainly because my computer screen's so far away and these things are small. But what I was going to say is, all right, if you're going off the last year's results, I could see why you think the Packers would score a lot of points. They scored 35 in the season finale at Soldier Field, and they scored 41 at Lambeau. But I would say in most years, going back, the defense has done a decent job against Rodgers. Like, I think we forget that. Like, Rodgers he has 55 touchdowns in his career against the Bears to only 10 interceptions. I put his record in my story. 20-5 is his record against Chicago Bears. Like, he's had plenty of success, but it's not like he's blowing the Bears out in most of these games. Go back to 2019. The Packers scored 21 points, and they scored 10 points. In 18, they scored 17. In 24, in 17, they scored 23, and then they did put up 35 at Lambeau Field that year. 30 in one of the games in 16, 26 in the other, but now we're starting to get into teams that were not very good, right, for the Bears.
Yeah. I believe you're in the John Fox era of things.
Yeah. You go back
to the home Brett Favre homecoming game is in there somewhere.
Yeah, that was the Bears' victory, the 17-13 win in 2015 at Lambeau Field, and that was the game Rodgers played the whole game, right?
I believe so.
Or was that the one?
There's been so many Bears-Packers games that they all start to blend together now, except for like certain moments in them.
Yeah.
If you look at what the Bears have allowed, too, other than, the Rams kind of exploding for a little bit in a game that was close. People forget that. That game was close for a bit, but, I mean, that was 34 points on the Bears' defense. After that, 17, 26 by the Browns, but that game got away from them, 14 by the Lions, 9 from the Raiders. They've been stout.
I'm just saying, like, it's not like Rodgers is usually exploding for massive numbers against the Bears. I mean, he's certainly, but I would say it's kind of like that Rams game, right? The Bears defense wasn't necessarily bad. They didn't play well when it was all said and done, but a lot of that came on like 5 plays. You can't have those 5 plays. Those will kill you to have those busted coverages and things like that. And Aaron Rodgers will certainly be the one that kills you. And so, hey, maybe that's the scenario and how the Packers do get to 30 points in this game. And I did also say in that interview, I'm starting to like the over the more we talk about all this. And we'll get to our predictions here in a second. I just wanted to point that out, that there's been plenty of games where the Packers still win. They still clearly look like the better team, but they don't even get to 20 points.
Well, Mike brought up what the Saints did with the 2 high looks.
Yeah.
The Bears have been very diverse in their coverages.
Yeah, they've done a good job mixing it up.
Yes, they're mixing it up. Sean Desai's got a lot of things going on.
All right, let's get to our 3 big questions.
All right, number 1. What will progress look like for Justin Fields on Sunday? Will there be any, let's call it, significant signs of it against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers?
I think so. I mean, I think especially when you hear the injuries that they've had, I think there's going to be opportunities in this game to get some more shots downfield. And there's some surprising numbers that have been going around on social media, if you've seen them. But if you take out garbage time, Justin Fields the last couple of weeks has been right up there in expected points per play on average. And deep ball percentage, too. That one really surprised me. He's up there like at the top in terms of percentage of throws downfield. Now, part of that's because, it doesn't feel like the Bears go deep a lot, but they also haven't been having him throw a ton either. So when you actually do the percentage of his passing attempts that have gone downfield, it's quite a bit. So you start talking about a game where, I don't know, this feels like a game the Bears are probably going to be trailing again instead of having a lead. Are they going to have to throw more? If they do, that percentage of throws downfield, I think there's going to be opportunities. I think that's what progress is going to look like for Justin Fields.
I have a column up now, 5 thoughts on 5 games from Justin Fields. And if you take out games 1 through 3. Sorry, if you separate games 1 and 3, 4 and 5, significantly different just in terms of EPA, success rate, even traditional passer rating. There's just signs of growth, real concrete signs of growth that you can find statistical evidence for. So it's just something to keep in mind. I think you're seeing it, and I just think back to like all these calm drops, if you will, but like missed plays by the receivers. There was one against the Raiders where Fields was rolling out to his left. I think he targeted Allen Robinson. It was like a 3rd and 10 play. Like that needs to be a completion. That needs to be a ball that's caught by his best receiver, supposed best receiver. I think those plays you'll start to see hit on a bit more as their practices continue to add up. Number 2.
One just quick, more specific thing. Also, take less hits.
Yes.
You're not going to come out clean. They're not all on him. But the ones where he's getting outside, that would be a sign of progress too. Don't take those hits.
Protect yourself. Number 2. Set the over-under on sacks on Aaron Rodgers. Like you mentioned in our conversation with Mike, they lead the league with 18. Set the over-under for us, Adam.
I'm going to put it at 2. I wanted to do 1.5. You got to think about the matchup. Rodgers is very good at getting the ball out of his hands.
He gets sacked, though.
Yeah, he does.
People forget that. He's been sacked a lot in his career. He'll hold it.
Yeah.
I'm going 2.5. That's what I would say.
You're going to set it at 2.5. Okay,
Yeah,
I would take the under then, because I think it'll be 2.
And I take the over. I think it's going to be 3.
Okay. Well, then that's a good over-under set, 2.5, because it's halfway between 2 and 3.
He's been sacked. Where is it at? 10 times this year.
Okay. So that's 2 per game.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like I win that argument.
Well, let's see on Sunday.
All right, number 3.
Number 3. Big picture question. Is this a real rivalry? Like, for real? And will Justin Fields be the quarterback who finally changes it?
So it is a rivalry in the historical sense, but I know where you're coming from on this question. It's funny you asked me this because, the guys I'm in my fantasy league with, they're all Packer fans, every single one of them. And they texted me last night about this because they were genuinely curious. Like, do players really care about rivalries? Like, do they really play harder? Do they get? And my answer was, I think rivalries are real if there's legitimate bitterness in there. And I don't think that there's been bitterness in this rivalry for a while.
There's been
now.
Trash talk, though. Whether it's making Mitch Trubisky play quarterback, or the same thing was it Charles Woodson, who was very critical of Jay Cutler. Like, there's been shots from the team up north, right? The
Charles
Bears
Woodson's
just
already in the Hall of Fame, though, man. That's been a while,
Yeah, but those, I remember those. I know what you're saying, but they're allowed to take that shots because it's become so one-sided. It really has.
Yeah, I just, I'm not about to call the White Sox-Astros a rivalry, but when you see a game played like that the other day where, both teams are obviously not happy with each other, you got guys getting hit and there's legitimate talk and interviews in the media, that's what a rivalry looks like. I don't know if that's going to carry on beyond just this one playoff series, but I'll give you an example, another example. I don't know if the Blackhawks-Canucks is a rivalry anymore, but man, when those two teams were facing each other in those years, and you wrote all about it, Johns, in that great piece you did on the Hawks, was that last year, I think?
Yeah.
That felt like a rivalry. There was legitimate bitterness. The Sedin twins are talking shit every day. That was cool. So where's that? I want to see some of that. But I think what it's going to take is the Bears actually having success and stop being Michigan.
Yes. There you go. I think what you have is, you mentioned your friends texting you. This is the time of year that I get the text message too from you, and I have both spent some time in school up north. All right. So here was one the other day. Yesterday, 6:23 p.m. You need any quotes about this lack of rivalry? That's trash talk, but it's the truth. Like, you'll even hear it. Like, did you watch Aaron Rodgers' press conference from up there? Like,
yeah, he's saying all these nice things about Chicago.
But he gives off the same vibe, like, I'm sure they don't like me, well, because they've won so much. So, no, I would say this isn't a real rivalry right now because it's been so lopsided in favor of the Packers.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you. All right, that's a good question, though. I like that one. All right, we should do bold predictions.
Bold predictions.
There it is.
Cole Kmet will not only catch a pass in this game, but a touchdown pass.
Wow.
For the Chicago Bears.
That's pretty big.
That's a bold prediction.
Bold.
Go bold or go home.
Bold prediction. I think this is bold. I think Justin Fields throws the ball over 25 times. Is that bold enough?
That's maybe a game plan getting away from the Bears, but
well, then you can kind of see where I'm going with this, I guess. How many did you have last week? 20? And that was a game they were in control of the whole time. Maybe I'll say 30. Is that bold? 30?
That's very bold.
Yeah. I think they're going to have to. Because I think they're going to be playing from behind a little bit. So, you want to go ahead with your prediction?
Yeah. I feel like everybody's going to pick the Packers again, just like last week picking the Raiders. So I'll be the...
Yeah, just go ahead and do it.
Adam Johns, go ahead.
Thank you, Adam Whitman. I'm going to go 27-24 Bears. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
But that's the pick.
Probably not.
See, that's what we're just so used to. Like, we're just so used to, the Packers are going to win. Who knows? The Bears have been playing nasty. Mike Heller gave you reasons to think that the defense, or their defense, has serious problems with all their injuries. Who knows?
Look, if the Bears can sustain drives and play as physical as they did against the Raiders, and I do like where they're headed in that direction, it's there on tape. In fact, it was even more impressive on tape than it was like when Kevin and I were reacting live right after the game. Like, you felt that during the game. You felt that physicality. And if you can bring that to this rivalry game, then maybe it will become a rivalry game. Like, they got a chance. But until I see them actually do it against Aaron Rodgers, and I guess that's the thing that worries me. Sometimes when they win, the blown coverage where the guy's running wide open downfield and drops the ball last week doesn't really get talked about in the same way as it did when Cooper Kupp was running wide open downfield. It worries me that still happened last week. There's still some of those plays sprinkled in. And when it happens with the Packers, you know how it ends. It ends with Randall Cobb breaking the hearts of the entire franchise in a Week 17 game.
It's Week 6, though.
Well, he's still on this roster, by the way.
He's back on that roster.
Don't know
Where did he
how
go before? He took a little break somewhere.
I think he was with the Cowboys.
I was going to say Dallas.
So, yeah, I got to go Packers until then. So I'm going to say Packers 20-17.
Ooh. See, I feel like if it's a low-scoring game, the Bears are going to win.
Yeah, check that. You know what? No, because this is becoming one of those podcasts where now I'm saying things that don't match. Because earlier I said I like the over. The over was, I think it's 44 right now. So we'll add more points. I think Packers 20. We're gonna have to go weird. Packers 25, Bears 20.
Yeah, the scores could be kind of strange in this game. Like, you know what I kind of see coming to light? Like, the Bears taking a lead. Like, even like a 10-point lead in this game. I know you're saying they'd be playing behind, but one of those classic come from behind Aaron Rodgers games where he just gets closer and closer and closer, and whether or not that defense can make the stop.
See, that's where I think they're going to be in trouble. I think the Packers take the lead. And that's where the Bears haven't been in their wins. They had a huge lead against Cincinnati. They had a lead against the Lions. They're playing with a lead for most of the game against the Raiders. I think that's where it's probably going to end up being the difference. So, we'll see. Should be fun. Let's pick these other games, though.
Where's our friend Patrick Finley?
Don't know. Probably see him soon, though. Noon on Fox, opposite the Bears and Packers. The Bengals continue their NFC North tour. They finish it this week in Detroit. They play the Lions. The Lions are 3.5-point home underdog.
Bengals. How'd you feel about Dan Campbell crying?
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like Dan Campbell, I think.
I do too, but I don't know.
They're playing hard every game.
The macho NFL world. I get it. It's an emotional game.
I can't figure out the Bengals. They did not look good against the Bears. That's the game I keep going back to. Like, are the Bears actually decent? Because if the Bengals are good, like the Bears were clearly better. They almost beat the Packers last week. I don't know. I'm going to actually go with the Lions here, getting the 3.5.
Okay.
And it wouldn't surprise me if the Lions win. Would not surprise me at all.
I think we got to come out hard and stay hard.
Ooh, a classic one.
Classic. Fox noon. This is not a classic. It's just a game being played. Vikings at Panthers. Panthers are a 1-point home underdog in this game, which is an interesting line to me. You know, there are some numbers out there and indications that the Vikings might not be terrible. They've had some crazy games. Like some hard
Vikings. Yeah. Every year it's the same thing though with them, isn't that?
It is.
Kicking problems galore. Kirk Cousins being Kirk Cousins.
When my cousin's texting me asking me if he should just become a Bears fan, you know it's pretty bad. I told him I would not recommend that for his health, but it is pretty tough up there in Minnesota. This is an interesting spread to me, though, that the Panthers, who have taken a step back here recently, are actually home underdogs in this game.
Yeah, Sam Darnold isn't the Sam Darnold that we praised a few weeks ago on this podcast, but their defense is darn good.
Mm-hmm.
Very darn good. Look at any rankings you want. They're all up there at the top. Give me the Panthers winning this one.
Yeah, I think I'm going with the Panthers, too. But kind of a stay-away situation. That line's weird to me.
All right, so 2 words, Aaron Rodgers.
Hall of Fame. 2 words.
CBS noon. Chargers at Ravens. It's a good game.
Yeah, I wish I put the over-under in this one because there's going to be some fireworks.
It's going to be fun to watch.
Offensive fireworks. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
2 of the best young quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, John's household favorite. I'm taking the Ravens.
Ravens are a 3-point favorite.
Sorry, yes. I'm taking the Ravens in this one. I think that energy they have from their comeback win is going to carry over. And like the Chargers seem to be playing with fire a little bit. Their defense isn't very good. Give me Lamar Jackson in the shootout over Justin Herbert.
See, but 2 weeks ago, the Chargers defense looked pretty good. And that was against the Raiders. But, man, Lamar Jackson's playing out of his world. I like the Chargers. Getting 3 points, I think this is a good close game. I think the Ravens might end up winning. But if you're gonna make me pick, I'm gonna take the team getting 3. So I'm gonna take the Chargers.
Okay.
And Kendall Fuller delivering for the Bears defense. Kendall Fuller is best when he's off and can break on the football.
CBS 3:05. The Cardinals at the Browns. This is a big game.
The Cardinals have had problems as of late.
Have they?
Yeah. Well, they barely beat the 49ers, right? Like 17-14, wasn't
That's
that?
a tough game. That's a tough divisional game. They handled in fact, their defense showed up big time.
It did.
They're undefeated.
I'm going to take the Cardinals in this one because I don't know if the Browns really believe in Baker Mayfield. I got to be honest.
Yeah.
This lack of a contract and what they do sometimes in games, I think it's kind of real. I know the Browns are favored, but give me the Cardinals on the road. Like, there's going to be pressure for Myles Garrett, but Kyler Murray, with his experience, has a better chance of escaping it as opposed to Justin Fields a few weeks ago.
Well, it's a little alarming to see the Browns give up the amount of points in the second half that they did to the Chargers last week. Because Kyler Murray and that Cardinals offense can exploit it. So, I'm going to say, though, them coming home, the Browns coming home back to Cleveland, with the struggles they had, they're going to make those corrections. Man, I can't believe I'm having to pick from either of these franchises. It's tough, but I'm gonna take the Browns, I guess. Sounds convincing, doesn't it?
Very.
If we win this game tonight, Adam Hoge will be rhetorically dancing with his verbiage. 2 outs. Here's Luke Boyd pinch batting.
Monday night, ESPN, 7:15, a rematch of a game last year, which the Titans blew out the Bills. Kind of a weird result. The Bills, though, this time, back in Nashville, are 5.5-point favorites. So the Titans are a 5.5-point underdog at home.
I'm going to take the Titans to cover, but the Bills to win. No one's really talking about the Titans, are they? The Cardinals, the Bills.
Well, they lost to the
Bengals
Jets
getting a lot of. Yeah, I know, but they're still pretty good, right? Still got the NFL's leading rusher.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going to mean much against the Bills, who have one of the best defenses in the league, but give me the Titans to keep this close, but give me Josh Allen in the victory.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bills. I'm going to take the Bills to cover. I think if they can... there's always the fear of the letdown game when you go into Kansas City and dominate the Chiefs. They clearly look like the better team. If they were coming back and playing this game like at noon on Sunday, I'd be like, yeah, I could see the Titans pulling this off. But the fact that it's another big primetime game with all hype, it's Monday night, I think the focus will be there. I think the Bills are really good. Josh Allen's really good. That offense is good. The defense is good. I mean, the Bills really, they could end up being the most complete team in football.
Yeah.
They really could. So, yeah, until I see otherwise, I'm going to take the team that did not lose to the Jets 2 weeks ago.
Hey, and Josh Allen's fun to watch in primetime.
Yeah.
He really is.
He is. So, that's a fun one on Monday night. Can't wait to watch it. Some good games there. Bears-Packers week. That's always exciting. Gotta love it. Gotta be excited for the weekend.
27-24. You heard it here first.
So if the Bears win, we'll give full credit to Johnsy for his prediction, and then full credit to me for pissing off Justin Fields, right?
Correct. That's how it works.
Okay. Just want to make
Power and the influence of this podcast. It has grown. No debating that.
Yeah.
But we'll see if it can actually have a direct impact on this rivalry that's become lopsided.
Be more like Ohio State, not Michigan. Much as that pains me to say that, because you know my feelings on Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I know.
All right, follow us on Twitter at Adam Hoge, at Adam Johns, NBC Sports Chicago for me, theathletic.com/Hoge Jahns. Plenty of coverage leading up to Bears-Packers stuff you want to see. Highlights of dude just demolishing defensive backs. Get out of the way of Jason Peters, Jonathan Abram. You don't want that smoke. Oh, man. It was a suplex, by the way. I think I said superplex.
Superplex, yes.
Yeah. I was close.
Someone in the YouTube comments correctly called it a spine buster. That was more spine buster. If you see the reverse angle.
Yeah, we're talking about the James Daniels play now.
Yes, that's definitely more spine buster than rock bottom. So, tip of the hat to that YouTube commenter.
But suplex was close. If I had said it, I said superplex.
No.
Right. No. Okay. Sorry. That's not my.
See ya. No, another see ya.
Bye, guys.
I thought you set me up. See ya.
You, Aaron Rodgers.